Edible mushrooms are fleshy and edible fruit bodies of several species of macrofungi. These fungi have bearing fruiting structures that are large enough to be seen with the naked eye. They can appear either below ground or above ground, where they may be picked by hand. Edibility may be defined by criteria that include absence of poisonous effects on humans and desirable taste and aroma. Mushrooms may lack the deep green or brilliant red hues consumers may have come to associate with nutrient-rich fruits and vegetables, but they are a powerhouse of nutrition and not a white food to be avoided. Research done by Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology shows that there is a huge storage of mushroom supply locally. The main reason for this is that there was no institution that was producing certified mushroom seeds, otherwise known as SPOON, before JQuat started. At the same time, consumers were not aware of the health benefits derived from eating mushroom. Mushrooms can substitute red meat because they have no cholesterol and they're rich in proteins and minerals. JQuat has therefore established a Center for Mushroom Research, Training and Extensions in order to assist the country with the growth of mushrooms as an alternative cash crop and eventually enable farmers to benefit from the same. Mushroom is not a rain-fed crop and requires little space for growing. On today's episode of Value Addition, we showcase how this process of spawn production is done as demonstrated by the Senior Technician Institute of Biotechnology Research, Dr. Patrick Kanyi.
Ama hii section ambayo tuko ni section ya mushroom, na hapa mahali ambapo tuko specifically tunaona kwamba ni mahali ambapo tunatengeneza mbegu ya mushroom spawn au planting material spawn. Tutaona stages zile ambazo tunafuata ndio mbegu ya mushroom tukatengeneza na ikakuwa tayari ya kuuzia ama kutumika na wakulima wale ambao wanapanda uyoga.
Before we look at how spawn is produced, let's learn a few things about value addition for mushroom. Mushroom has a constant shelf life. More than 5 days of harvesting the mushroom is all the life there is to it. Thus, the produce has to be modified to more durable products. Women empowerment and lack of time for cooking has also led to increased demand of more convenient products of mushroom. Patrick Kanyi educates us on some of the processes that could add the mushroom shelf life, such as converting it to flour through drying and milling it.
Kuko na njia kadhaa ambayo tunaweza tumia kutoa maji ama kudehydrate product yetu ndio isiharibike kwa hiyo siku 5 ambayo nimetaja. So you can slice the mushrooms and dry them in the sun, which will take about 2 to 3 days. And how do you know that it's dry? We are drying this mushroom to 12%. 12% is when you touch this mushroom, it is crispy. It just breaks down. It breaks down. If it bounces or if it springs back, it has not dried enough. So that's how we test for the drying. You can also use a solid dryer. Some farmers are also using a solid dryer, which is even better because a solid dryer will have a better quality than sun drying. Like I've said, or like you can see, you can consume, like we have said, you can constitute this mushroom and use it and just cook it like the fresh mushroom. You can also grind it. You can also grind using a hammer mill. There are various sizes of hammer mills, small ones or big ones, into a powder. You can grind it into a powder like we are seeing. This is now the same mushroom that has been ground. Now when you grind it, you can actually add value or put it in other foods like porridge flour. You can put it in biscuits. You can put it in bread or any other food that you'd want to add value to, because mushroom has high nutrients. It has good nutrients. It is rich in proteins, high proteins. It has good vitamins. It has minerals. Mushrooms do not have cholesterol. So you'll be adding value to the other foods that do not have those characteristics that I have just mentioned.
One of the concerns that many consumers have is the question on whether there are nutrients lost during the process of value addition. Patrick shared that, in fact, there is no loss of nutrients during the process, but preservation of the nutrients is attained through the processes.
When you dry the mushrooms, you don't dry nutrients. You don't lose any nutrients. In fact, the nutrients are concentrated. The flavors are concentrated, and the nutrients are concentrated, so you don't lose anything. Ukinunua hii mushroom ambayo imekaushwa, what you do is to reconstitute. Reconstitution means you add water, you put it in water, and it's going to reabsorb the same amount of water it had lost during drying. And then you just dry it the way you just cook it, just the way you cook any other fresh mushroom. The taste will be the same, the flavor will be the same, and everything will be the same.
A solar dryer is made from timber, greenhouse polythene papers, and shred nets to form a rack where one can dry the mushrooms before grinding the mushrooms into powder and packaging. Farmers are now venturing into this type of value addition as the demand for mushroom products is anticipated to rise in the near future. Currently, Patrick explains that the market for fresh mushrooms is bigger than that of dried mushrooms.
There is a proportion, a considerable portion of the market for dried mushroom, but obviously in this country it's not as big as the market for fresh mushroom, because the farmers get enough money when they sell fresh mushroom than when they sell dry mushroom.
To increase production, value addition, marketing, and utilization of mushroom products for food security, nutrition, and health for resilience of community livelihoods, JQuat has developed a comprehensive training program at the university campus for training growing of this mushroom. Dr. Patrick explains that the farmers have been visiting the institute for the program due to the high demand for mushrooms.
Here at JQuat, it is not a business. We train farmers on how to grow mushrooms. We train farmers on how to add value to mushrooms by drying, like I have said, and how to make other products that we are going to see from the dried product. But it's not a business. Our business is making spawn, the planting material, and training farmers on how to do mushroom growing as a business. Here at JQuat, for the last 12, 13 years, we have been training farmers, and we have a training program that runs every month for 3 days. And for example, for this month in July, it's running from 27th to 29th, where you come and learn on how to grow mushrooms as a business, and growing, the climate control, markets, the value addition, like we are saying, all is taught in that program.
Value-added products for mushroom, such as flour, do not go through food fortification. Food fortification is the enrichment process of adding micronutrients to food carried out by manufacturers. Patrick explains that mushroom is rich in these nutrients, hence considered rich in mineral, therefore do not require more boosting.
Do not fortify because the mushrooms have enough protein, they have enough minerals, and they have enough vitamins.
There are a variety of mushrooms such as the oyster mushroom, the button mushrooms, and Genodama. Dr. Kanyi displays the available products made from the different varieties of mushrooms such as the porridge flour. Genodama mushroom is only consumed in its powder form for its medicinal purposes.
Obviously, just since it's a food, that's the only thing you can do. You can actually even use it on its own, even without putting it in other foods. Like we have a product, like you can see, this one is mushroom powder for making uji, and we call it mushroom porridge flour. It's just mushroom on its own. Mushrooms that have been dried, and it has been ground, and you can use it for porridge. Of course, we have added things like millet and sorghum to add more value to the mushroom. That's why we call it mushroom porridge flour, but it has those other elements of millet and sorghum. Like we have different types of mushrooms. You can treat it the same way. We have the oyster, we have the buttons, And we have the medicinal mushrooms we call Ganoderma. This one is consumed primarily for its medicinal value. The values are this medicinal. So this powder, the mushrooms have been dried. They have been ground, like you can see. So you only use 1 teaspoon in a glass of water. What value do we get from this mushroom? This mushroom improves the immune system of our bodies. It lowers the blood pressure. It lowers the blood cholesterol. It cures allergies, insomnia, people suffering from insomnia. It will also slow the aging process, improves the skin, and it's very good for our bodies, and to prevent diseases, the modern diseases.
To get a high yield of mushroom, it is key that a farmer gets the right planting material, which is known as spawn. After the break, we will show you how spawn is produced at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology.